Hello, GateWorld YouTubers. I'm David Reed, host of the new Stargate interview series, Dial the Gate. What you're about to see is a long piece from our very first live stream where we announced the cast and crew who are going to be on the show with us for the rest of the year and through early 2021. After watching, look for the link for the description below and subscribe to Dial the Gate on YouTube. You're going to see clips on GateWorld periodically through the YouTube channel, but we would love to have you join us over at Dial the Gate for our live streams each weekend to ask questions to the cast and crew. See you on the other side.
With some of these marvelous cast and crew that we've gotten to know so well over the years, who's coming up?
Who's coming up? Who's coming up indeed? So let me get all my ducks in a row here. I'm still trying to figure out this system. So our first episode, and keep in mind, things may change. These talent are working again, so things may switch around. This is all tentative. You're going to want to go to dialthegate.com, which points to gateworld.net/dialthegate, but I recommend dialthegate.com. Sorry, Darren. For all the current guests. Our first guest, barring any unforeseen issues, Mr. Christopher Judge.
Hey.
Yes. So
I'm excited.
I thought it appropriate to continue from which is essentially a spiritual successor to Dialing Home. And didn't you have a question about Dialing Home for me? You brought it up earlier.
Well, we mentioned it earlier. I wanted to know, because you guys shot so much and have so much in the can.
11 episodes.
We got a trailer for Dialing Home season 2 that had people like Robert Picardo in it.
Yes.
I want to know if if MGM's going to release any of that stuff at some point.
I don't know. I know their intent is to if you go to StargateCommand.com and you go to the frequently asked questions, it says that dialing
the home gate.
Yeah, this is what happens when I'm between two worlds right now. I'm leaving Dialing Home and moving to Dial the Gate. Dialing Home and Recon and some of those other content pieces that Kieran and Jenny and I created are going to ultimately be on the Stargate Command YouTube page. They haven't posted anything in 6 months. 7 now.
Yeah, they ported over most, I don't think all of the old content.
Correct.
To the public YouTube channel.
A fraction of it. And I'm hopeful that that's a COVID thing. So we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully they get the rest up.
I would love to see it there, because this is intended as a continuation of a lot of those. Like, I'm not going to interview Christopher again, full form. The full form was recorded in Dialing Home season 1. So we didn't get to Arc of Truth and Continuum. And that's what we're going to do with Chris.
Okay.
And we're going
so he's going to be here. Is he going to be next week? Is he going to be the next guest?
Yes. I will get to the next week's schedule at the end of the show.
Okay.
But
so your Chris conversation is going to be focused on the SG-1 movies.
Yes. And I want to talk about specific elements of Dialing Home that were really memorable to us, specific stories. So it's going to be kind of like a best of, for sure.
Nice.
Next on the list, we need to go a little bit faster than this because we have 30 guests to go through with an embarrassment of riches, is Joseph Mallozzi.
You're not announcing all of those, are you?
I am.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This is Christmas. Okay.
It is. Believe me, I've been a kid in a candy store for weeks now. Joseph Mallozzi, writer and executive producer.
Excellent.
So worked on all 3 shows. He is going to be with us for the rest of the year. So about once a month. All of these guests, I might as well explain now. Pretty much everybody has agreed to 1 show, so that's okay. The first interview will be an overview interview, and every interview will have fan questions. The first interview is going to be an overview of their career, and then if they agree to do more, then we will get into the minutia. So that's the intent behind it. Joseph Mallozzi is already front loaded to get into the minutia. So, and he's one of the best to do that because he was around for most of the years. So
he was one of the minds that created this world.
So my intent for his first episode is to have an overview and also the beginnings of his being hired. And maybe we get to Window of Opportunity and Scorched Earth. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But that's the intent with him.
Get your questions ready, everybody.
Exactly. Joe,
Window of Opportunity.
I'm so excited about Joe. He's
Exodus.
Giving up so much of his time to do this over it's going to work itself out to like 13, 14, 15 hours over the next 12 months.
That's amazing.
So we'll see how it goes.
Thank you, Joe, if you're watching.
My God.
Thank you in advance for giving so much of your time to this.
Next on the list. Whoops. That was the wrong transition. But anyway, Brad Ellis and Wes Walker of Wyvern Gaming. They are creating the upcoming Stargate SG-1 role-playing game. So their Kickstarter is going to be October 6th through the 29th. So for that window of time, we're going to be having some role-playing game content. So this next Sunday, not tomorrow, but the following Sunday, which is the 11th. Is it the 11th?
A week from tomorrow?
Yes,
2 weeks from
the
tomorrow.
11th. Yeah. We're going to have an interview with them. And I'm going to take them. I've played a role-playing game, a tabletop role-playing game with them online for the Comic-Con. There will be a link to that in the episode below, along with the GateCon 20th anniversary interview with the piece that we had with Garwin and Simone. Those links will be below. I haven't figured out how to do that yet, so please bear with me. But for the 11th, I'm interviewing Brad and Wes about what their intent is with this project and where they're going to be going with it and what fans can expect from it. And then the following weekend on the 18th at 2 p.m. Pacific time, right here on Dial the Gate, we're going to have a playtest of an actual simulated Stargate mission with the role-playing game.
Yeah, so we can watch the game being played in real time.
It's like a team going off-world and encountering a planet for the first time. And to do that...
Is it regular nerds? You going to get regular nerds on to play this for us?
I've got Alexis Cruz.
Alexis Cruz, Skara himself.
Alexis is a world-class nerd. So he's going to be joining us. He's also agreed to do interviews for Dial the Gate. So he will be joining us for the role-playing game. In addition to that, and Alexis, I can't speak highly enough of this man. He's become a friend. And you have anything you want to say about Alexis before we move on?
Alexis is a prince. I just had a chance to meet him finally at GateCon in 2018. Really? Okay. I hadn't met him before, but and he's recently become a father, I heard.
His baby is so adorable.
Yeah.
So he will be joining us for the game and for future reviews. Also joining us for the game, Simone Bailey, the Jaffa Kal-El.
Yeah.
Kal-El, not Kal-El. She's not a Kryptonian.
She's not a Kryptonian.
No.
She's Kal-El.
Kal-El, yes. Simone and I have recently gotten close. Not like close, but we've become friends. She has her own YouTube channel. She's
very engaged with the Stargate community.
Yes, exactly. So she's like, I've never done this before. I'm like, that's the point. We want people who have never done a role-playing game before to join us. So she's going to be joining us, and we're going to have her back for interviews later on in the year. So she's one of my favorites.
Good.
In addition to that, also joining us for the role-playing game, Mr. Rainbow Sun Franks.
Hey.
Din Ford.
Lieutenant Ford.
Yes. He a major nerd. We're gonna have some fun with this. So and Rainbow has also agreed to do Dial the Gate. God's sakes, Lord, please help me.
You named this show
episode. I know, man.
You could have called it something else.
I could have.
You could have called it this
full service
old
gas station for all that's worth. All right, yeah. So so he's going to be joining us for the role-playing game on the 18th, and he's going to be joining us for for interviews as well. So next on the list,
cool, very cool.
Julie McNiven, Gin from Stargate Universe. Yes,
we've interviewed all of these folks on GateWorld at some point, but not Julie. That's great.
So we're going to be interviewing her, and she's going to be joining us for the game.
So we're going to see most of these folks, we're going to see them in the game first.
You're going to see them in the game first.
Down the road, they'll be back for an interview.
Yep, exactly. And I just peeked into the live chat. Someone already called it. David Blue. He's joining us for the live game on the 18th. Mr. Eli Wallace himself.
Excellent. So cool. Nicole Penland in the chat, you called this. David Blue would probably be all about RPG as well.
Yes. So
here he is.
I can tell you he is. And I was like, we need another girl. And I was like, David, And he's like, let me call Julie. So he put me in touch. So yes, there's going to be a reunion between David Blue and Julie McNiven. And in addition to that, our 6th role-playing game guest.
Yeah.
Oh, before I do that.
There's more.
There's one more.
You already have somebody from all 3 shows. I need
to say this. David has not agreed to... it's not saying he has not agreed. He has yet.
He's not officially booked yet.
Booked for interviews for Dial the Gate. So I'm hopeful to convince him. He's doing the game right now, so I'm over the moon about that. So cool. Hopefully he'll be interested in me interviewing him, because the two of us, when we sit down and we talk, it's like a house on fire. I mean, it's just two nerds. We're going way too fast. So. Well,
when SGU premiered and we met Eli Wallace for the first time, I was like, that's kind of like a canon version of David.
I felt like that in so many respects. I'm not saying that they made a character for me, but they wouldn't have had to try harder. So, because I watch Eli and it's like, yeah, I say that. Yeah, I would say that in that situation.
And now you even have the camera ball.
Yes, exactly.
You have your own Kino now.
Where is it? Oh, there it is.
It's back there.
Anyway,
you'll pull it out for David on the show.
Yeah. So I'm so thrilled that Brad and Wes are taking the time to interview, and we're going to have with us for the week after that these amazing cast members: Alexis Cruz, Simone Bailey, Rainbow Sunfranks, Julie McNiven, David Blue, and Mr. David Hewlett. Rodney McKay himself will be joining us for a playtest. So he was absolutely phenomenal in the Comic-Con one. He played an Unas. And I was like, you're not going to create a scientist? He's like, no, I want to create an Unas.
He's done that already.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So he's done. I don't know if he's going to continue the Unas character. I don't know. I'd like Simone to play a Jaffa. She's probably not going to want to play a Jaffa. You can. Maybe. I wanted to get Garwin so that Garwin could play a Tolan, because in the game you can play a Tolan. So
Simone would make a great Aturan.
Yeah.
The new Nox-like species.
Yeah, Aturan. Yeah, the Nox shoot off species. They're not they're not technically Nox. They're a human variant who kind of hold up the Nox and revere them. Yeah. And it's one of the things that we're going to discuss next Sunday with Brad and Wes in terms of the game style. But yeah, Hewlett's going to be joining us, and it's going to be fantastic. Watching him play as the Unas was so funny. He got into this like because when you advance through the gameplay, you have to like describe what you're doing, and he just got into this habit of like rolling into every situation. Okay, before I attack this enemy, I'm going to roll into the enemy and attack them. And it's like that became like his power attack. It was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that is.
So he's got experience. Everybody else, watch out.
So Sunday the 18th,
Hewlett's got
at 2
experience.
p.m. Pacific time, this group of cast members is going to be joining us for a live off-world mission role play.
That's going to be epic.
Play test thing. Yes. So. The rest are interviews that have been confirmed for the rest of the year. Schedules may change, but here we go.
But we're going to have the full schedule. Go to dialthegate.com.
Yes, the schedule of what there is a schedule, dialthegate.com. Miss Torri Higginson. I love this one. This is one of my favorite people.
Hold my applause, or can I clap for everyone?
You may. Yes, just keep it golf applause.
Tori is that first year that I visited the set before the Atlantis premiered. Tori was my first or second interview, probably. I remember we were outside, like sitting on the back of a truck or something, outside of stage 6, and I was interviewing Tori, and I told her my name, and she was like, "Oh, Sumner, we have a Colonel Sumner in our pilot."
Yes, that's exactly right. And Andy Frizzell did the same thing with you when we met her in person. She said, "That's the first man I killed." I'm like, well, actually, Andy, the first man that you killed was Nathosian. He's sitting at the table. So anyway, but I don't think I did that then, but I was thinking it. So, but yeah, so Tori is joining us. She's
marvelous.
Delighted to have her.
Love her.
She's so wonderful. The next one has become a friend of mine as well, and I couldn't start this project without him, Mr. Tom McBeath. Damn it, Harry.
Maybourne.
Yes.
Maybourne's going to be on Dial the Gate.
Maybourne is going to be on Dial the Gate. I've been in touch with him, and he's like, I'm not good with tech. I said, we'll make it work if I have to do it every step. If I have to send you an iPad,
I'll figure it out.
We are going to make this work. So if you have a Wi-Fi, we're good. I'll mail you an iPad if I have to.
Good. So, that's fantastic. I also at GateCon met him for the very first time 2 years ago. So everybody, if you haven't been to GateCon yet, come to GateCon in 2021.
You didn't meet him then for the first time.
I didn't.
You and I were in Creation Chicago together.
Was he in Chicago?
Yes. That was the year that you and I met for the first time and did a stage appearance. Yeah. And I had interviewed him
shame on me.
before, and he didn't remember who I was. And I had taken him out to one of the parks in Vancouver. I forget what the island, Granville Island.
On Granville Island.
Got an ice cream and everything, and he didn't remember me.
He didn't remember you. That's okay.
It was fine. He remembers.
Well, clearly,
me now.
I have now forgotten having met him in Chicago.
That's
15
why we have
years
to have
ago.
This. Well, you've proven it right there. This is why we have to have this show now, because a lot of these memories are just going away.
Yeah. All my Chicago memories from 2004, 2005, whatever year that was, are Chris Judge memories.
Exactly. Yes. No, that's the thing. But we have to have this show now because these people are getting older. I mean, we've lost Carmen. We've lost Don. Yeah. They're gone. But I mean, Carmen, we're still going to have him in the show. I have an unaired interview with him from an Atlanta convention called Time Gate Con, and it's going to be featured on this show. So Carmen's going to, I didn't create a plaque for him. I should have. But Carmen's going to be joining us. It's an unreleased interview from 10 years ago.
That's so great.
And it's like an hour long. So I'm delighted to have Carmen.
Never before seen, unless you were in the room at Timegate. Nobody's ever seen this.
No one's ever seen it otherwise. Yeah. He was I can't get started.
Okay, so maybe we should speed this up because I also have some trivia questions for you.
Oh, okay, got it. All right. Mr. Martin Wood. If I had to pick one director, if I could only talk with one, it would probably be Martin. And then Peter DeLuise and Andy Makita.
You don't have to rank them.
I don't have to rank them. But absolutely. Will Waring.
Martin is going to be a fantastic conversation.
Martin has agreed to a whole year of interviews.
Oh my gosh.
The man directed 60 episodes. No. How many? Chat, how many episodes? Someone check on IMDb. How many episodes he directed?
I want to say it's over 70.
We're going to talk about them all. And Martin, I mean, I've interviewed him in person before. It's all there.
Yeah.
He can bring up any episode.
Oh yeah, he has
this is
complete faculty.
It's going to be with him and with
Sanctuary as well. He could tell you anything about a Sanctuary episode by title.
With him and with Joseph Mallozzi, I mean, this is going to be fascinating. So more crew interviews, indeed, absolutely. That's one of the intents of the show, is to really highlight a lot of the crew. So Martin, thank you so much for joining us for that. We've already mentioned her before, Andy Frizzell. So Andy, we met her, Darren and I did, for the first time years ago outside of a convention. We had dinner with her at Earl's, and then we interviewed her back in like a hotel lobby with terrible lighting.
It was the hotel lobby with terrible lighting.
God, yeah.
That was the interview where we learned about lighting.
We did, yeah.
With apologies to Andy.
Beautiful woman, we make her look like crap. So anyway, Andy will be 46 episodes. Thank you. That's it? Of all three shows?
No, you got to add SG-1 and Atlantis.
Yeah, guys. Okay. Anyway, yes. So Andy Frizzell will be joining. She is in Thailand right now. So this episode is going to be pre-recorded. So do you have the form ready? Do you want to talk about the form?
The forum is going to go live right after this stream is over. You'll be able to go to dialthegate.com, and that'll redirect you to the Dial the Gate landing page on GateWorld. That's where you're going to find the schedule of who's coming up. Schedule for next week, right? The time of day on Saturdays and Sundays is going to be changing, so check the schedule. Follow GateWorld on Twitter. Follow Dial the Gate on Twitter. We've got links to all the Dial the Gate social media there. But there's also going to be a link to a forum. You can submit questions in advance for those guests who are not going to be here live. You could do a live stream chat, so we could have an active chat during a live premiere for a pre-recorded interview.
Yes, but
this way,
it's pre-taped.
Folks get to use this forum and send in questions for our pre-tape guests.
Because of the time difference in Thailand, I mean, this room is probably going to be dark when I interview her. So use that form for Andy. Andy is a pre-taped guest. The other guests, you must show up live or have a friend show up live to ask a question for you. Because the idea is to get people to show up for the live show, to ask questions and incentivize that way. This guest, as well as the next guest, are pre-recorded. Mr. Robert C. Cooper. Oh my God.
I love Rob.
Creator of the Ancients, the creator of the replicators in the Ori. He is the one who holds all this knowledge.
Co-creator of Stargate Atlantis.
Co-creator
of Stargate Universe.
Absolutely. So he will be pre-taped as well. His schedule is insane. So the form for the pre-asked questions, is that a thing? The form for the questions that you want to submit will be on dialthegate.com, and it will only be active for those two participants, right? There'll be a drop-down menu.
Yeah, so I can choose from the drop-down menu.
Okay.
I want to submit a question for Rob Cooper or a question for Andy Frizzell.
Yeah.
Or I can just send David an email.
Yeah. So everyone else is live for now. They may change their minds and want to do pre-taped. If pre-taped happens, we will add their name to that list. That'll be turned on. But for otherwise, if it is a live show, you have to be there to ask them questions in person. Rob, I can't wait. I mean, yeah. I am over the moon. It's practically like talking with Brad.
I told you recently, there was a piece of, I did a long interview with Rob Cooper around the time of Stargate: The Ark of Truth, which he directed. It was his baby, his big project. We had a long form conversation. We ended up publishing it on GateWorld as a multi-part interview. You can find it now in our interviews section. But there was a piece of it that I removed. Rob and I was a theology student at the time. I was a seminary student. And Rob and I had a long conversation about religion and the religion of the Ori and how religion was portrayed on Stargate. And I snipped it out because I wanted to use it for a different piece. And then I lost it.
Oh my God.
I had a total computer failure before it was backed up. And I recently rediscovered it.
What?
I have to go back and kind of compare the bits and pieces to what we published.
It.
But I found a copy.
So excited.
So I might be able to recover that sort of lost interview with Rob. But yeah, you guys will have a chance to talk here on Dial the Gate.
That's fantastic. Good. I'll reference that content before we get started. So yeah, Rob, I'm extremely excited about. Some may have already guessed this, maybe not. Miss Suanne Braun, Hathor hosts herself, will be a hostee, will be an interviewee.
She's been working so hard all year.
She has.
With Hathor hosts, and she just wrapped up her first season, I think.
Yeah, Amanda asked her questions today. She had Amanda tapping on.
Good.
So
she wrapped up her show, and she's going to be here with you.
Yes, absolutely. For interrogation. We're going to put Hathor in the hot seat. So good. That's kind of cool, actually. She's going to be. She has worked so hard, and I must say, she is one of the reasons that this show is happening. It's kind of fortuitous that her season ends and mine begins. That was not set up that way.
It was good timing, yeah.
It's perfect timing. So like next week we'll have our first official guest. Sorry, Karen. But she demonstrated to me that this is possible to do this. And so that when I saw her program, that put me over the hump in terms of setting this thing up. So I really have a lot to thank her about. So it's perfect that we're starting our show in earnest next weekend. So yeah, so I'm really excited to have her. Mr. Neil Dennis, Ryak himself.
Neil Dennis, Ryak himself. I haven't seen hide nor hair of him in years.
He is in a place called, and I'm probably going to butcher the name, Seychelles?
Seychelles. The Seychelles.
By the seashore?
I suppose so. He's been living it up in paradise.
He has a kid now.
Does he?
Full circle. Yeah.
Excellent.
He's living up in paradise with low speed internet. So
our Ryak, all grown up.
He's all grown up. I don't know how we're going to make this work, but we're going to make it happen.
Okay.
He may be pre-recorded.
Okay.
He and I are going to do some tests, but I am so excited to have this young man on, because he's not a young man anymore. I mean, I'm so excited to have him. So we talked
to him in Vancouver.
We did
when he was a young man. I don't know how old he was in that interview. Maybe 16.
He had just done. No, he was older than that. I think
17.
Around there. He had just done Sacrifices? So his last appearance. So yeah. So we're going to have him on as well. Mr. Chevron guy, Gary Jones.
Gary Jones is coming to Dial the Gate.
Yes, Dial the Gate will be blessed.
Of course he is. No form of Stargate media is complete without Gary Jones. As far as
I'm concerned, I completely agree. Yeah, so we're going to have him on. And we're probably, I haven't figured out when with Gary, but yeah, I called him. I was in North Carolina on hanging out with some friends, and I was like, you know what? I wasn't going to have him in the initial guest lineup because, I'm always asking him stuff. I'm this poor man,
Yeah.
And yeah, so we're going to have him. I'm really excited.
Good.
So, Braytek of Chulak, Tony Amendola.
Braytek himself.
Yes.
Tony Amendola's coming.
Yep.
I love Tony.
I contacted Tony yesterday, and I said, so we're making this announcement. Do you want to join in? And he says, yes, absolutely. I will be there. You know, it's that amazing voice of his. So yes, we will be having Master Braytek himself. I'm really excited to have him.
Perfect.
And then, you know, I also called one of my New York buddies, you know, and we had to, of course, have Mr. Jay Acavone, Charles.
Yeah.
So Jay will be joining us as well. Jay is also one, you know, he's like, I'm not big on the tech. I'm like, we'll make it work. I promise you, we will find a way to make it happen. So yeah, so Jay is going to be joining us as well.
Awesome.
And it wouldn't be a Stargate Atlantis show without Carson Beckett.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not getting the accent right at all.
You're trying.
I'm trying and I'm failing.
That's what counts.
I sound like Martin Garrow in that special feature Road to a Dream.
Oh yeah, that was one of the best DVD bonus features of all time.
Oh my God.
Was Martin Garrow on Atlantis.
Yeah, him and Ivan Bartok were just crazy for that.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Paul is fantastic. If you want to get the Scottish accent right, as far as Stargate fans are concerned, all you have to say is "wee baby turtles."
Wee baby turtles. That's right. Yes.
My wee baby turtles.
Turtle timeline. Hashtag turtle timeline. All right. Catherine Powers, one of the earliest writers.
Hey, you were talking about her earlier in the show.
She's going to be joining us. Yes, she will be talking with us about a lot of those early episodes. I was not the biggest fan of episodes like Emancipation. I watched that with her.
Early
SG-1. And I did a commentary with her. That was fascinating. And I'm like, if I can be turned around on a show like that with the writer telling me about what she had in development for the series, I mean, anybody. So
Catherine Powers was on the main writing staff was it just season 1?
Yes, and then she was, I think, a story consultant.
Okay.
So yeah, but we're gonna.
So a lot of that early SG-1 world building.
Yep.
She was.
So we're gonna have her on to talk about the world building. Exactly. We can't have a new show on without a Goa'uld. Jacqueline Samuda.
Hey, one of my favorite Goa'uld.
One of my favorite Goa'uld. Absolutely.
That's Nirrti.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to be having Jacqueline on. We had a conversation at GateCon that was supposed to be recorded for Dialing Home. And so MGM has that. Hopefully for season 2, we'll be seeing that at some point if they release season 2. But Jacqueline will be joining us later this year as well. So I'm really excited to have her on.
My first time to GateCon in 2018 was my first time to meet a lot of these folks who've been kind of regular convention goers for a long time. And I met Jacqueline Samuda and I was blown away.
She's amazing.
By how terrific a person she is, but also how different she is from her character. I mean, obviously, she plays a very evil character.
I would argue one of the most evil characters in the entire show. Yeah.
Yeah. Very when you're
cunning
and manipulative But oh my goodness, then you meet Jacqueline and she's a bubbly Canadian girl.
Exactly. Yeah, she's very talented. And I mean, we're gonna have a good time. Mr. Garwin Sanford. Garwin and I have been talking a lot lately through the whole pandemic, and I cannot do the show without Nareem and Simon. We can't forget Simon. Garwin, we had interviewed him for season 2 of Dialing Home, and he's just one of the most salt of the earth people that you can possibly imagine. The guy is so friggin' talented. I mean, he's learning French, for crying out loud, through the whole pandemic. You know, why not? So he is a go-getter through the extreme. So yeah, so I'm really excited to have him on. Mr. Neil Acree. Now, Neil is a part of our program. He is the reason why we have the music that we do. And he's absolutely, I'm thrilled to have him with us. So not only is the musical DNA of Stargate in the show, in this particular episode, in the opening and closing credits, which I can't wait for everyone to hear the closing credits. They're fantastic. It's like Stargate music. Yeah. He's going to be joining us for an interview as well, and it's just going to be fantastic to have him. He is a student of Joel Goldsmith. And that's Joel right there on the Daedalus set. And so a lot of who he is and the musician that he has become, he learned from Joel. We're going to be talking about his career and the stuff that he's accomplished. I mean, if you're a fan of World of Warcraft, Diablo, his music is there. He's done every World of Warcraft cinematic since the Burning Crusade. They're all on YouTube. You got to check them out. They are awesome. And you can feel the musical grammar of Stargate, like kind of beneath the surface. I mean, maybe I'm just hearing things, but I can't wait to have Neil on.
Yeah, that's fantastic. He's so talented.
He is. Colin Cunningham, Major Paul Davis.
Major Davis?
What happened?
Major Davis.
What is happening here? They took the ship. Q's in there. He's living in Utah now. He was a part of the mass exodus from New York. So we're going to be talking with him, and I love this man. So really excited to have him on.
He's so talented. He can fill up a character. He can become anyone or anything. Did you ever watch Falling Skies on TNT?
No, I couldn't get into it.
The Noah Wyle show. Yeah, he was off the wall, chewing the scenery. Amazing character.
He ate the stage,
in Pope. Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to.
Yeah, great character. The exact opposite of Major Davis.
To watch, I'll certainly watch some of his stuff from it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you should watch his short film Centigrade. It's my only to this day Apple purchase. Centigrade. It was I think it was like your first purchase is free, and so Centigrade is the only thing that's in there. Go and check it out. It is fantastic. 15 minutes.
Good.
We can't start our show without a Cylon.
That's a different show.
Oh, sorry.
This is a Stargate thing.
I would not say that this will be easy, but if you want to be free, Jafar, you must have Kitano.
Rick Worthy. Yes.
Absolutely. I love this guy. He and
Kitano from Stargate SG-1.
We were at right.
You recognize him from Battlestar Galactica. He was one of the Cylons. You recognize him if you watch The Magicians on Sci-Fi Channel.
I've seen it.
He's Dean Fogg.
Dean
Fabulous
Fogg?
Character.
Dean like a name or Dean like a title?
He's the dean of the college, so that's his title. Henry, I think, is his first name. Henry Fogg.
Okay. No, his first name is Rick.
Fantastic character on a great show. But if you don't recognize him from Stargate, he was not really a Jaffa, was he? No. When he appeared in season 5.
Hell, it's years old.
The show's been around for a while.
Right. Rick Worthy will be joining us.
Awesome.
I'm so excited. I also want to talk about Battlestar and one of my favorite shows, Man in the High Castle. And he was a robot in Star Trek Voyager. So we're going to bring that up. Dr. Janet Fraiser. Terrell Rothery.
Hey, everybody. Terrell Rothery's coming to Dial the Gate.
Start this show without Terrell Rothery. Yeah, so I'm really delighted to have her on this. So, she's never watched Heroes?
I think I heard her say that at a convention, and it does not surprise me.
I would love to have her do a Heroes commentary. I would love that. But I'm not going to push her.
That'd be tough.
That's a sensitive thing. I don't want her to watch
on camera.
Not to watch it for us with the first time. I want her to go and watch it first. But can you imagine getting to sit down and watch that episode with Terrell herself? I mean, I'd love to get her and Michael. My God, Michael and Saul and Terrell make those 3 episodes happen. They all do. Not to diminish Christopher, Amanda, Rick, anyone else, but
there's wall to wall great performances in those 2 hours.
Yeah. So that's just, I can't wait to have her on. A little bit more Atlantis for you.
Yeah. Give me some
Flanigan.
more. Joe Flanigan. I've heard of that guy.
Yes. I've heard of him as well. Yes. And his hair. So Major John Shepard will be joining us. Colonel John Shepard. Probably a general by now.
Major, then Lieutenant Colonel.
Lieutenant Colonel, then full Colonel.
And his hair.
And him and his hair will be joining us. Yes.
Good.
And his ears. Oh, remember the elf lady? Anyway. So that's a fandom reference.
I have not gone to a Stargate convention yet where Joe's ears have not been mentioned by someone.
Oh my gosh, that's the truth. Yes. So Mr. Flanigan will be joining us soon. I've already have him scheduled in, so he's coming up shortly, and
Excellent. He'll be coming up soon.
Yes,
good.
I'll have that at the end of this. Moving on, Amanda Tapping. So she just did her show with Suanne today, and yes, so that's the plan is to have her as well. I am so tremendously excited to have Amanda on.
She's an all-star. She is the queen.
She is. No, yeah, she's sci-fi royalty, and
she's all we need. We don't even need you.
Well, love
Just
is
put
all
her on camera. Well, I love Amanda.
You really can't.
And I love Samantha Garter.
I do. I love.
You know, Sam is still my favorite character.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot to talk about with her. The world has really evolved in interesting ways, and I have a lot to talk about with her as a director and as a human being. And I'd love to know who her personal heroes are. Yeah. Every one of these people are going to be asked that question. Who are your heroes? Who are the people who made you? Why are you the person that you are? What are the building blocks that made you the performer that you are and the human being that you are? And so Amanda's going to do that. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this next guest. So let's just roll the tape.
Stargate fans, I'm Dean Devlin, the producer and co-writer of the original Stargate, the movie. I wanted to let you all know that I will be joining David Reed on October 17th at 2 p.m. on his new show, Dial the Gate.
Dean Devlin.
17th, 2 p.m.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Co-writer and producer of Stargate the movie. He's going to sit down and talk with us. One
of the creators of Stargate.
Mm-hmm. He's booked.
We've been doing this for 21 years.
Yeah.
And we've never talked to Dean Devlin or Roland Emmerich before.
I bumped into him at WonderCon in Anaheim when he was shooting Bad Samaritan, when he was doing the publicity rounds for Bad Samaritan. And I said, you have no idea how much I appreciate your work and what it's done to the trajectory of my life. And he said, you want to sit down and talk? We'll talk. And I reached out to his agent and said, is he still game? And she said, yeah, he'll do it. And so he recorded this message, and I'm blown away.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you, Dean.
Thank you, Dean. And Roland Emmerich will also be coming on, but Roland cannot be involved right now. He's too busy working on another project. So it's a gentleman's agreement that Roland will be.
We hope to book him. He's not booked. We hope to book him.
Yes, but Roland is he's the other co-writer and the director of the Stargate.
And the director of Stargate.
So he's not a hard yes. So not enough for me to make a tile for him, but
we're working on him. Good.
We're working on him. So I'm really excited about that.
So much lives inside Dean Devlin's head. In terms of the origins of Stargate. I want to know
what he was wanting to do.
And what he wanted to do with the franchise.
Dude, why are there 9 chevrons? Why? You know?
I got all kinds of questions.
Did they just look better?
I got all kinds of production questions.
Or were you doing something with them?
We got to brainstorm for that.
Did the Stargate go to more than one place? What was your intent? So I don't know how much of it.
How close are the Bill McKay books to their original intent?
Exactly right. You know,
I don't think they're the same thing. I don't think they're an adaptation.
So I cannot describe how excited I am about this interview.
This is my question. You asked the 9 chevron question. My question would be, if they had 6 chevrons that they could dial, and Catherine says this is as far as we've ever been able to get. Why didn't they just try each of the other symbols in turn?
Well, I'm not gonna poke holes at his film. You know, I mean, there are some story issues with that movie. You know, that are. I have some
headcanon reasons for explaining that.
Well, then we need to articulate to that one another off camera.
Yeah.
So before I go on and because I'm not gonna grill this man and say, this is really. Yeah. This doesn't work, Dean. It's a movie. It's a summer blockbuster.
No, don't have to grill him about plot holes in his 25-year-old movie.
No, exactly. So last but not least, I ran into this person at Comic-Con in 2008, and I've been carrying their business card in my pocket. Okay, it's been in my fire safe for 12 years now.
Okay.
And I was like, if I'm ever going to call
hope their phone number didn't change.
Exactly. You know, and the web address that was on there, it didn't work. It was gone. And I was like, oh God, please God, let this work. And okay, I'll just show it to you. Sam Jones, Eris Bach.
Oh, Eris Bach.
The only guest
Another one we've
star
never talked to.
We've never talked to. The only guest star who has ever had a comic book made for him that did not turn into a main character later. Because I know Vala had some.
Yep. He just has one episode.
One episode.
And it's a fan favorite, Dead Man Switch.
Characters of all time. It's an amazing performance. Just so witty. And so that's it, folks. So Eris Bach, Sam
Incredible.
Jones. He's busy right now. We will have him in January. So we won't have him this year. So the intent is to bring him in January. So that's the plan there.
That's amazing.
That's all I got.
Boy, you've been working hard on this, I know, for a couple of months, getting all this ready to spill to us. And I knew some of these secrets, but I'm blown away at this initial lineup for just the first 3 months or so.
Dude, I don't know. This was probably way too much. But it was. But
you've taken on a big project.
Like Cliff Simon, you know, I'm pretty close with Cliff, and I've not asked Cliff yet. You know, and I intend to. But it was like, I need people that I have talked to, and I need people that I've never spoken to before to strike a balance there.
It's a good balance.
And it's like, where do I draw that line? And there's a number of actors that, you know, we've communicated with before that are not in this guest list yet that hopefully will be. You know, I reached out to Ming. Ming's just finished with Mulan. All the publicity for Mulan. She can't do it. And Ming has always been wanting to go for an interview. So hopefully
the time will be right.
The timing has to be right. So exactly. So that's my list. Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.